Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And that's your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi, folks. Welcome back from timcast.com. Kroger to penalize employees who are not vaccinated. Following federal mandates, Kroger makes changes to its COVID policies. Now, Kroger's a very large grocery retail chain. I was just in Tennessee for a week, in central Tennessee in Crossville, and there's a Kroger's there. Kroger's is very, very big in the South. I'm not sure how far west they go, but they're a huge retail grocery chain. And this is alarming. Let's read on. Kroger Corporation announced that unvaccinated staff would be ineligible for paid sick leave if they catch COVID. If they remain unvaccinated, the company will start charging employees a $50 a monthly health insurance surcharge. Now, here's the deal. The Biden mandates through OSHA, that's scam. But before I go into it even more, let me just say up front, because I have to, because this is YouTube, I am not an anti-vaxxer. I am not. I have no problem with people that want to take the vaccine. God bless them. I wish them Godspeed, and I hope they remain healthy. This is about mandates, and that's what people, especially the progressive leftists, don't get. Making vaccines mandatory and being anti-vaccine or pro-vaccine is a different issue. And this is what these morons do, these progressive idiots, very much like equality laws that require equal treatment under the law and other instances. Who could be against that? Nobody. But then they say equity. Equity is the same as equality and is actually the polar opposite. And they dovetail them together. Just like if you're against mandatory vaccines, then you're anti-vaccine. No, not at all. Not at all. It's confusing, I think, on purpose. According to the report in the Wall Street Journal, the grocery store chain, which employs about 465,000, that's a lot, full and part-time workers, they don't have the breakdown, of course, from the full and part-time, notified its employees in a memo that Kroger will no longer offer 2 weeks of paid emergency leave for employees who contract the virus. Now, does it say that they don't get 2 weeks paid emergency leave for any other health issues or just for COVID? It looks like, according to this article, just for COVID. Okay, I mean, I think you could make a case, but here's the problem. With Biden's illegal mandatory vaccine through OSHA for businesses with 100 employees or more was struck down in all kinds of courts, so that's dead. So now it's up to these corporations. Well, you say, John, you're a conservative guy. You believe in freedom and the businesses can do what they want. Yes and no. Just like YouTube and other social media platforms can't do whatever they want just because they own the platform. I.e., for example, I use Verizon for my cell phone service. So that means then that if I text something or somebody sees some of these videos and says, I'm a right-wing nut, and Verizon says, well, we don't want you anymore as a customer, and they cancel me. They can't do that. They can't. Well, it's their business. They can do what they want. No. So this is really, really gray area here, and I'm not comfortable with it. Now, if they say if you get COVID, you don't get your 2 weeks paid emergency leave, but for anything else under our normal policy you do, that's a real fine line. I don't know. Kroger also stated in a memo that it would not change its plan unless otherwise required to by local governing officials. Yeah, that probably means state. Kroger plans to add a tax to unvaccinated managers and non-union employees. Now, that's the thing. I'm not sure how many of these employees are union. I wish there were more detail in the article. Usually Tim Cass is pretty good. I wish they had more details. The move will require them to pay a $50 surcharge towards company health insurance plans. According to the report, both policy changes will be effective as of January 1, 2022. Now, here's the thing. Okay, we're going to add a $50 surcharge to people that aren't vaccinated to help cover cost of what? They're not paying the emergency leave if you get COVID. So where is their extra cost involved? So let's go through the list. I mean, let's just off the top of my head. How about people that are more than 20 pounds overweight? Did they get to put a surcharge? How about people that smoke? They get to do a surcharge? How about people that use medical marijuana legally in many states? They get to do a surcharge? People that don't have a proper diet. Are we going to go in and check the refrigerators for what they eat? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. How about STDs? They're all over the place, especially young people. Where does this end? Where does this end? The new policy changes come amid pushback against President Biden's vaccine mandate for private companies. That's the other thing. And this mandate they had for employees 100 or more, my guess is 80 to 90% of all businesses have less than 100 employees. So where's this emergency? And then they announced it when they did. They gave them, was it 2 months to comply? I mean, so if it's such an emergency, why are you waiting 2 months? The president's mandate requires all employees to be fully vaccinated, get tested for COVID weekly, or face thousands of dollars in fines. The mandate's requirement has been met with fierce legal opposition, of course. Kroger's CEO Rodney McMullen said he was implementing incentives to ensure his workers got fully vaccinated, including a reward, a $100 cash bonus to each employee who got their vaccinations. Now, that's really slimy. I'm sorry, it is. I encourage all employees to lead by example and, where possible, to incentivize their employees. More shots in arms will bring us closer to our normal lives. That's a lie. That's a lie. If you want to get the vaccine, God bless you. Then get it. Then get it. It's not doing the protection they said it does. But, hey, you want to get it? It'll give you some protection, way more than what you had. If you feel comfortable, God bless you. It's, like I said, when I was in Tennessee, my friend I stayed with goes to Kroger. In fact, I was in the Kroger parking lot waiting for her. And she was getting some things for her sister. And it's really big in the South. Now, I'm not one for boycotts, but I think conservative-minded people are going to have to start using some of the tactics of the left and the progressives. That you do stupid crap like this, it should cost you. And here's the thing, though. If you say, well, you know what? I'm an individual in the United States. I disagree strongly with Kroger's CEO's mandate. I'm going to stop giving them my money at Kroger's. I'll go somewhere else. Okay, that's great. That's your choice. But here's the thing, though. If people stop going to Kroger because of this, then you have to tell Kroger. And as the numbers get higher and higher and higher, like in this case, they're going to see that hundreds, if not thousands of people are voicing their objection. They won't stop doing this stupid crap. Let's read on. The mandate by Kroger comes after the OSHA ordered employees with 100 or more workers to either confirm that their workers are vaccinated or take weekly tests. And, of course, that's been squashed in court. OSHA mandate, however, met a plethora, I like that word, of legal action, and it remains unclear if the mandate becomes effective in January. It won't. But they're going to pressure businesses in doing it. There's a lot of things that are going on with this COVID stuff. And saying the word COVID is going to screw this video, but, it is what it is. A U.S. District Court judge in Savannah, Georgia, recently refused to mandate vaccines for federal contractors. 2 days later, lawyers for the federal government filed a notice of appeal. As a result of these legal battles, General Electric and Union Pacific Railroad retracted their vaccine requirements, according to statements given to the Wall Street Journal last week. The nation's workforce and its employees continue to watch daily as the mandates, requirements, and information evolves. Now, they say follow the science, follow the science. Okay. My understanding in the state of Florida, with Ron DeSantis fighting a lot of these mandates, federal overreach, that their positive rate of COVID as a percent of population is much lower than the vast majority of states. Much lower. That's not following the science. We're looking at places like Sweden, and I forget where else, where they handle it much, much differently. Their rate is actually much lower than Western countries, and you have to use that because you can't just pick a small country out of the blue somewhere in Asia and say, well, look, well, they did it and their rate's way. You have to use a Western type economy and country. That's the only way you can measure it effectively. And this thing is going to be talked about long after I'm gone. Who knows? The problem is, though, science has been so politicized, you don't know what to believe. I mean, you really don't. And if evidence scientifically shows that the powers that be in the U.S. federal government are wrong in what they're doing, it gets squashed, and those people are treated like flat earthers. So you don't know what the hell do you believe. It's difficult for the average person. The average person, full-time or part-time at Kroger, what are they supposed to do? Go home and for the next 2 or 3 weeks search the internet for all this information? That's what the media is supposed to be doing, and they're not. So the average person is left out in the cold. We'll call it propaganda, if you will. What do you believe? I mean, it gets to a point where if a government agency said the world is round, I would question it because you can't trust them anymore. Trust in our system has been eroded so badly that you don't know if these people are doing it for the general good or for political reasons or for virtue signaling. Who the hell knows? And that's the problem. Now, I can honestly say there's no Krogers where I live in upstate New York, but I'll tell you the truth. If I did go to Kroger here, if there was one here, I would stop going there. And I would make sure that I notified the manager of the store as well as some of their, maybe their offices, their regional offices or their headquarters, and make clear why I wasn't going there anymore. That's the only way this stuff is going to stop. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Who are they trying to help? I can see maybe saying, listen, you're not going to get your 2 weeks paid emergency sick leave if you don't take the vaccine and you get COVID. All right, I can maybe see that. It's a fine line, but I'll go along with it. But at the same time, giving bonuses to people that get vaccines, I mean, I've seen videos of people just walking into a drugstore, a CVS or a Walgreens. There's people out in parking lots just pulling people in. You don't know these people's personal health history. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, how long are the Democrats and the progressives going to push this narrative? I don't know. I know next year is a huge, I'll just do Trump's huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a huge year because of the midterms and the Senate elections, House of Representatives and the Senate here in the U.S. What are they going to pull at the last minute? And they always do, because they are in panic mode. The Democrats and the progressives are in panic mode. They see what's coming. The tsunami of them getting wiped out of Washington by the hundreds. It's going to be a huge turnover in the House. Huge. A lot of retirements on both sides of the aisle. And they're like any wounded animal. They're going to lash out. And God knows what can happen or what they're going to pull. I mean, look what they pulled during the 2020 election cycle. I'm not saying it was unlawful. I'm not saying any of that because I don't want to get in trouble here on YouTube, but this is nuts. So what's going to be next? Well, as they say, brace for impact. We'll see. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.